We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. It is again another Monday. It is September, Labor Day, September 2nd, 2024. You are tuned into the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I'm Slick Doggy, the grip.
And happy Labor Day, guys. Labor Day weekend. Great day for going to the movies or just hanging out and being whatever.
Yeah, to catch up on old movies. It wasn't a great one for
new movies
so much.
But there was a lot of movies that are in the theater, and we've seen a lot of them that are already in the theater. Would have been a great one. 2 Harry Potter movies were getting re-released in theaters. It was like Prisoner of Azkaban and the Goblet or the Half Mudblood, Bugger.
Yeah, it was 2 of the middle ones.
Yeah. And then, Coraline was still in theaters. You still had Wolverine and Deadpool. But I went and saw AfrAId, the new Blumhouse film about AI. And you just poured me. What is this concoction you just poured me?
Dude, that's a chelada with tahini. It's a mango nata.
Mango chelada.
Yeah, just a white people take on.
Well, that's all right. I'm gonna drink it.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Like, I love tahini. I'm a big tahini fan. Yeah, man. I like mango. I like tahini. I like cheladas. Thanks for bringing that up here, dude.
No problem.
But we're going to be talking about AfrAId later in the program, so stick around for that right at the half of the show. But at the beginning of the show, this is a movie show. We talk about movies. If you're new to us, you can download this podcast wherever it is you download podcasts. If you don't want to see our faces and read all these cool interactive comments that you're not a part of, or you can like and subscribe where it is you want to watch. So Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. We just finished up the Twitch pre-show. We were talking about a lot of stuff. We started at 30 minutes before the show just for our Twitch viewers. So you can get on there. You can find our link tree at driveinspeakerbox.com, and you can just click wherever you want to go. If it's our Discord, if it's our OnlyFans, if it's our whatever, you can just get in there, give us money, like and subscribe. Hashtag DISB on Feet Finder. You can just get in there. Did you not know? Did you not know I started this? It's like I'm secretly taking pictures of our feet under the. That's why I make you take your shoes off at the door, dude.
I wondered. Yeah. Because it started wearing my slip-ons.
There's actually there's a webcam down here that's just for our feet. Yeah, see, it's like, hey guys. That's the premium content right there.
If your toes are out and just wiggling.
Next time they will be. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about the news. Like, what's going on? What did you read? Because I was busy. I did my regular homework. I did my box office report. I did my what's coming out this week. But I didn't do a whole lot of research in what happened last week. So, and I know you always do the digging. So what you got?
Right now I'm distracted by the clip being rude boxy ant ceiling cat. Just the funniest things on those. You know what? We got a lot of stuff was like updates and trailers. So apparently when a director...
Like I saw the SNL trailer. Did you see that? The Saturday Night Live movie?
Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I saw it in the theater today.
But apparently when a director or someone tweets anything, that's like major movie update. And part of this is that Matt Reeves responded to a tweet where someone's like, hey, what's the deal with Batman 2? And he's like, actually, we're working on it right now, except we're actually taking a break from working on it.
So whatever happened to that Penguin show?
I think it's on Max right now.
Is it already?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can watch it on Max.
I don't know.
Right now.
There's so many like comic book adjacent shows and universe building content, blah, that I just, it all fades away to me.
Talking universe building, the Jurassic World Rebirth continues to get little micro updates.
What do you mean Rebirth?
That's the name of it. That's the name of
Oh,
the
that's
movie.
the name of it?
Yeah,
So
because not
they
only
didn't
is
call it Jurassic World Reboot.
No, they
It's
call it Rebirth. Yeah.
Got it.
So and they said that's because it's not only a rebirth of Jurassic World, but the whole franchise and its little mini updates they give on it, synopsis chunks. They've let out just a hint more of the synopsis, which we already knew was Scarlett Johansson is like a researcher, and they have to get this DNA from the 3 most massive dinosaurs of the land, air, and sea. So it's probably going to be T-Rex. It's probably going to be the
Megalodon.
Mosasaurus thing that they made.
Is that the... No, the Mosasaurus was the one that was the mutant.
No,
right?
well, it's in the water. No, it's the one in the water that jumped up and snapped the shark.
What was the one that was like... It was like a raptor T-Rex.
Which movie?
I don't
Because
fucking
2
know.
of the
They're all so
Jurassic World
stupid.
movies have that. They have
The last one was the sharks with the laser beams on their head, except for it was raptors with laser beams that you laser pointed your bad guys and they turned.
No, that was the second one.
Was the last one where they go, "Hey, we cloned a human, but no one cares because we're gonna film 100. Or we're gonna."
That
we're
was
gonna
also
sell
the
these.
second one.
Well, what the fuck was the last one?
The last one was the one after that, where all the dinosaurs had spread throughout the world, and they were like living in the woods to hide the clone girl and all that stuff. And then they ended up going to that island where Jeff Goldblum was like friends with the dude because they had all these dinosaurs they were collecting on the island, and it was like Steve Jobs
That's right.
type thing. And then at the end it had a blind Therizinosaurus fighting Giganotosaurus with T-Rex. And it was
Giga, please.
no. And it was just the dumbest thing. Alan Grant came back.
I do. Okay,
Yeah.
I am vaguely putting this back together in my memory.
Not only
and-
you're not the only one that forgets it, because with Rebirth they don't want you to remember the ending of that movie. They've straight up said
That's not the
now.
one. The ending where it was like this. It was more sad than Land Before Time because all the like the long necks and leaf eaters were standing at the dock like as the
That's
fire
at the
was
beginning
going.
of the movie.
And they're like, "Rawr," and they're like, "Well, bye, dinosaurs." And
Yeah.
they like all die in a fire.
That's
and they're
the
leaping to
very
their death.
that's the very beginning of the third Jurassic World movie.
Okay, I remember that.
Which, so this one, like they've all spread throughout the world and like they're alive.
I do remember there was that
and-
tavern brawl scene with the raptors, right, where they come out of the boxes and it's like they're going to like the Tatooine equivalent of Jurassic Park
In the Middle
and the
East.
guy's like eating like
Yeah.
raptor jerky.
Yeah.
and God, that movie was
And then
stupid.
they drive the K truck to get away from them, which could not outrun anything. Yeah.
Yes.
So they don't want you to remember the ending of that movie. They've straight up said that, and that's part of the rebirth. But this is supposed to take place only 5 years after the events of Jurassic World 3. And now the planet is inhospitable to the dinosaurs. So even though they've proven that they can live in all of these different climates and they've gone to every end of the earth, all of a sudden within the span of 5 years, they've gone
I
back.
remember this now. Yes.
Yeah, they've gone back to where they can only live at equatorial locations. And that is so that this movie can take place on a single island, basically. It's going to be
It's
dumb.
not Nublar anymore, right?
It's probably going to be one of them.
Old Blar.
Because they discover a secret that's been hidden for decades on this island that they accidentally wind up on. It's going to be dumb. They released a couple of screen grabs from it with the main characters. It has like Mahershala Ali holding this torch and like Scarlett Johansson and whoever, like some dude sitting in the tall grass looking at stuff. It's going to be dumb. Everyone knows it's going to be just the dumbest thing
It
ever.
will not be a clever girl.
And then speaking of universes that should not exist, there is a couple of trailers for scary Disney stuff. So
I feel like with the success of Alien and the success of Deadpool both being rated R, Disney's like, hey man, let's lean into it.
no, this is not Disney. This is not done by Disney. This
Right,
is,
but it's more like the Killer Winnie the Pooh stuff.
yeah, the Winnie the Pooh stuff. It's in that same universe.
Maybe that's
which-
like a secret arm of Disney, because you know, like the Waltons have all these shadow organizations here in Arkansas. They're like, oh yeah, that's totally not Walton money, but it is. And I'm wondering if like Disney is actually making these, and they just didn't want to be Disney.
No, I'm trying to find. They have given this universe a name. It's called like the Traumatic Childhood Twisted Childhood Universe is the official name for the Blood and Honey stuff.
Why does it need to be a universe?
And now there's the Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. There's a trailer for it. It looks horrifying. It looks absolutely terrifying because it's about...
Is it going to make you lose your marbles?
Well, maybe. It's about like this horrifically scarred like dude that works in a circus, and he kidnaps children and then murders anyone that gets between him and kidnapping these kids.
Does he have a homie that has like a hook for a hand, and he stuffs clocks in their stomachs?
I don't know. That's not in the trailer. But there's a full trailer for it. He does kidnap like an entire bus of children. But there's this trailer out for it, and it's part of this now. Yeah, the what did I just say? Twisted Childhood Universe.
Yeah.
And they already have plans for Bambi the Reckoning, Pinocchio Unstrung, and then all of that leads into next year's crossover Avengers version movie that they have coming out, which is called Pooniverse. Monsters Assemble.
I had not quite swallowed all of that tahine mango chilada, and it almost spewed
so
all
they're
over
giving their universe two names. It's the Twisted Childhood Universe and
the Pooniverse?
They're going to have the crossover Avengers movie, Pooniverse.
I mean, if Pornhub was not illegal in Arkansas now, I would have to search and see if there's already a Pooniverse out there. But thanks for protecting me, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah. So that's a thing. That trailer's out there. Pretty creepy. Lots of super murder by this Peter Pan dude. It opens up with him like being like a It type character, calling this kid over and then yanking him into this pit.
We all fly down here.
Yeah. It does show him levitating and stuff, so I guess the killers will now have superpowers and stuff too. But then also...
Is Thudbutt going to be in it?
No, Thudbutt's too cool. Adjacent to this, with people taking other Disney properties, there's another Steamboat Willie horror movie coming out.
I did
one
read about this one,
that they released within like a month or whatever, and it was the guy with the Mickey Mouse on killing the people in the grocery store or whatever. This one is like there's actually like a creature, like a Steamboat Willie monster, and it's called Screamboat. Yep. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I had like $750,000 to just like flush down a toilet, I mean, and honestly, it's not even flushing it down the toilet. They know it's brilliant. It's brilliant, right? Like I can't get mad at them for it. I mean,
the trailer doesn't look that bad. It looks like a horror movie, but it's just a teaser. You don't get to see Steamboat Willie, who they refer to by name, and it's pretty meta thing. They're like, well, he hasn't been seen in like 90 years and blah 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 and all that stuff. But it has like the Screamboat captain there coming and killing people, and this girl just watches and screams. Super goofy, and then other things that also should not be a universe, but are. We're getting a Cliffhanger 2. Did you know this?
Like Sylvester Stallone?
And Sylvester Stallone will be coming back, reprising his role
as a believable rock climber.
I imagine he's going to be retired from the rock climbing.
I would more believe that he could reprise his role in Daylight, not so much Cliffhanger. And honestly, I went back and I revisited Cliffhanger. Doesn't hold up.
Whoa, wait. You don't think so?
No, it didn't hold up to me. I don't know.
You don't like John Lithgow just yelling the F word?
Well, that's actually the best part of the movie. A Cliffhanger 2. A Cliffhanger 2. Cliffhung sprung.
Yeah, well, that's a real thing. It's happening. Apparently, it was announced last year. Is Dolph Lundgren
going to be in it? I feel like they hang out a lot.
I doubt it. But yeah.
What else is he doing?
That's a thing. More than 30 years later, it doesn't matter.
It's really sad, and we talk about this all the time. Like, we are so afraid of new ideas, and it's not that we are void. And if you go back and you listen to old shows, which I know Velvet Santa does, he's been watching like religiously all of our old episodes, and one of the things that he used to say is like, we are devoid of good ideas and new ideas, and we're not. I think that there's so many cool new ideas that people have and people want to have, but we are just completely out of the ability to be like willing to take risks on new ideas. You know, the ideas are there, but we're all of us, and don't we all want to blame the studios. We want to say, oh, it's their fault. They're not making, you know, cool movies that I want to see. It's every single one of us that sits on our fucking couch and is like, I don't know if I want to see it because it might not be good. I'll wait for it to stream. And like, don't wait for it to stream. Like, go get your ass up, tie your shoes, get A-list, go to the movies, eat some popcorn, and watch a goddamn movie. Like, and go vote with your dollar. If we go to the movies and we watch these movies, then we'll get more interesting, because people used to always go to the movies, and that's why they're like, you know what, shit, let's make this movie about, like, I don't know, this washed up archaeologist, probably the most boring fucking thing that you can study in college, and give him a whip. I don't know, he'll like chase down some Bible shit. Who reads the Bible? I don't know, that's the most boring book I can think of, but we'll put them together. We'll make this movie, and what's his name? Indiana Jones? No one goes to Indiana, so we'll name it that. And you're like, oh, damn, it's the greatest movie ever. And we went and saw it because we weren't, like, afraid. We were just like, let's go see a movie at the movie. And now we're just so afraid of going, oh, what if it's not good? What if my $10 goes to waste? Instead of going to the movie, I'm going to go to Starbucks and pay $15. I'm going to go to McDonald's and pay $25 for chicken nuggets. Like, get out of here. You waste more money breathing than it costs to go to the movie and be entertained. So it's your fault. It's all your fault. Your fault, your fault, your fault, and your fault.
Hey, one thing that you said
that's true, which
that is true, is
all
that
of it.
Having an A-list is super badass. It's worth it. It's only $25.
I bought this box of cookies and got points for it.
It costs the same as any of your dumb streaming services do, so it's worth it. You know what is dumb as well, and something that, not a universe that we don't need, but the universe that we live in, and a thing that we wish that wasn't there. You know that there's a Donald Trump movie coming out?
I did see that.
Being released in October. I think it's October 11th. Sebastian Stan as... And
I like Sebastian Stan. Like, he's a pretty decent actor. You don't see him a lot, though.
Yeah, it's called The Apprentice. And apparently it has a whole bunch of people, feathers all ruffled up.
I feel like I don't want to see this movie until after he's not elected. Like, if he gets elected, I don't want to see this movie. If he's not elected, then release this movie, and then we can all... I don't think I want to... The movie's just going to give him more attention that he doesn't deserve, and that's how the boogeyman... he's the fucking boogeyman, right? Like, the more attention we give to the boogeyman, the more powerful the boogeyman becomes. So let's not, like, make a movie about it and talk about it and share it online. It's
supposed to be about his life from, like, making...
From, like, pizza commercials to failed...
No,
like,
from the small loan of $1 million forward.
From the small loan of $1 million, what are they talking about? He inherited his dad's mega empire of real estate developments in New York.
You don't remember his speech? Where
I do remember that. Are you talking about the speech? That was the moment? Or was it the grab him by the pussy Entertainment Television?
It's where he's getting his small loan of $1 million. Hey, but you know what? Talking about things that can be awfully scary, there was another horror movie trailer. Wow, it's nothing but horror movies.
You just talking about horror tonight.
It's nothing but horror
movies.
Well, that's all that there is. October's coming up, man. We got Peter Pan murder stuff.
Yeah, dude.
We got Mickey Mouse murder stuff.
Dude.
We got dinosaurs eating people stuff.
Yeah, dude.
We have Donald Trump.
He is also a horror movie.
There's all this horror movie stuff. But there was also a trailer for Apartment 7A. Did you see that?
No.
It's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, I have heard about this. I didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah.
Though.
So it's about like a ballerina who like breaks her ankle during a performance, and then like she has all this trouble walking and everything, and then somehow ends up in this living in this house owned by these people that has these apartments, or a building owned by these people, and it's like evil Diane Wiest. And she's just like super creepy.
Because Rosemary's Baby is very good. I mean, a problematic director for sure, but that movie is creepy, and it is good, and it is moody, and it will disturb you. And the old people are like, well, can't we just nurse your baby? Why don't you just drink this milk, and we'll take care of you? And then they're like putting like weird talismans in her house. Like, if you've ever seen it, it's so strange.
Yeah, it has like this. Like Diane Weiss is like cutting her hair, and she's like, I'll take care of you, and she's just like super creepy and like cuts her ears, and she's like, we can help you be a dancer again. And then she sees herself in the mirror, all these versions of herself, and one of them's like pregnant, and it's like pushing out of her stomach and being all creepy. I did just see James' comment, was like, what's the fear of missing in? That's pretty good. But yeah, the trailer for Apartment 7A, super creepy. It looks a lot like a American Horror Story type thing.
Gotcha.
Which I cannot watch those, man. I've tried to do that. And
American Horror Story?
Yeah.
They're so vanilla, dude.
Dude, I don't know. They're weird and creepy. I think because the first one I saw was the one in the hotel, and the very first episode was like that like demon gimp thing comes and like sex murders that dude with like the knife dick or whatever, like the serrated.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And I was like, I do not want to watch this show ever. So, you know, and then there was one with aliens, and
that's the one where I'm like,
Psych Ward that I didn't understand.
The Psych Ward one was okay,
and then
until like Santa Claus came in one episode, and
really?
It just, yeah. I don't know. I feel like that series
like the
starts
aliens
to grasp
killed
its
his
straws.
wife or something. And I don't know.
The first 2 seasons were fantastic, and then they're like, well, we got to keep it going.
Which one was the one where the family moves to like that house?
That's the very
like,
first one.
The Stormy Hamptons. It's like the Hamptons, but with like storms or something.
Oh no, the first one was just like it was the traditional like, well, we didn't tell you why this was on the market for so cheap. It's because ghosts, and you know they introduce, and then the next one was. They're at this place, the asylum, or I think it was the asylum, and there's all
Anyhow, it looks a lot like that, but like mixed with like Perfect Blue and stuff like that. You know, Black Swan type stuff. Real creepy, all that stuff. So there you go. You got a whole horror dump for everyone just waiting for October, wanting your fall. Movies. It's
Shudder
dark outside at 7:00.
My Shudder subscription just renewed, so
there you go.
Yeah, it's time. The spooky season is officially here. I mean, to me, spooky season starts about August 8th, but that's just me. You know, I'm already pulling out my spooky season attire. This one's from the Halloween franchise, if you're not familiar. But
you have that?
I don't have that. I have. What are you pointing at?
It's the pumpkin with the skull.
Oh yeah, like right there. Over.
I'm going the wrong direction.
Well, use your eyes. Just look at it.
It's delayed.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I've got a little tiny, but yeah, it's spooky season, man. And I think October's a very short month, so just start watching them now. Get in there. Dina on Twitch says I'm in full spooky right now. Like, get it. Start streaming it. Smell it. Eat it, taste it, wear its skin, like puts the lotion on. And have you ever watched that? There's a really, really good song, and I know we won't get busted for it because it's not like a copyrighted song. Hang on, it's so good. If I can find it. Greenskeeper. Oh yeah, it's so good. Check it out. We're gonna play this real quick. And it's all about like it's from Silence of the Lambs. But it's really catchy.
You're cold and tired. That is easy to see.
You sure it's not something we're gonna get in trouble for playing?
This band does barely exist.
Your membrane will be soft and smooth, and your heart will be mine. It rubs the lotion on its skin.
I don't know that it's up to the band though. It's like whoever holds the rights to the song.
It rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. Yes, precious, it gets the hose.
Isn't it weird that guy went to be like Captain Stottlemyre and Monk?
Oh my God, yeah. Buffalo Bill.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's so good. And the lyrics are really, really, really fun. A link in the Discord. Yeah, I'll put a link to that in the Discord if you guys want to watch it and jam out to it. It's a band called the Greenskeepers, and I mean, it's super, super old. Like, I think that video is 7 years old on YouTube, and it only had 2,000 views. So, I mean, pretty sure not. I might get a pat on the back for showing that on the stream. But, yeah. It puts the lotion on its skin.
Here, dude, that's what we're doing each episode now. We're just doing horror music deep cuts, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, because we did
last week we did the
Alice
Alice
Cooper?
Cooper song.
Yeah. Oh man,
So now everyone local can go watch him play at the amp and
that's right.
just
That's like
shout for him
that's
to
like
play
in
that
2
one.
weeks.
Yeah,
Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie playing
yeah.
at the
You
amp
got to
here.
sit through Rob Zombie to see Alice Cooper, but I wonder, who headlines that? Or do they switch off, or is it? It's always Alice Cooper.
Maybe they're just sharing. Maybe they're just high five and tag team, and you know.
I've been to a concert like that where the acts would switch off and do 2 or 3 things at a time, and then
It's like
switch back.
Nelly.
It was Cheech and Chong and War.
Well, when Nelly played at the amp, like that, Nelly fucks. Like that was a great show. But anyway, that has nothing to do with movies. Do you have any more news, or we want to talk about what's coming out in theaters this week?
That's all the news that I know of right now. It was just all sorts of just them little updates and horror trailers.
Well, cool. Well, then let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this week. There is a handful of movies. Obviously, one juggernaut that's going to be taken over the box office, but there's a couple other smaller ones. One of the smaller ones from director Elliot Lester, which stars Peter Dinklage and Juliette Lewis. It is called The Thicket, and it is in West Texas, kind of a period piece. A boy after his sister is kidnapped by a violent killer known only as Cutthroat Bill. Probably not any relation to the Buffalo Bill, enlists a fierce bounty hunter named Reginald Jones, who becomes the leader of a group of outcasts searching for the girl. And Reginald Jones is played by Peter Dinklage. So it's Peter Dinklage kicking ass and taking names, being an action hero.
How wild that Peter Dinklage plays
A Texas assassin in the 1800s.
A Western bounty hunter.
I'm here for it. I like the dink. I'm here for it. That's coming out in theaters this week. Also, The Front Room. You've probably seen the trailers to this. It's directed by Matt Eggers and Sam Eggers. It is also starring the one and only Brandy. If you don't know Brandy, then you were not alive in the 90s, clearly.
So you're going to say the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Then where were you? Oh, that's right. Not born. But it's a horror movie, and it is about this newly pregnant couple that are taking in this ailing mother, estranged stepmother from the new husband, played by Andrew Burnap. And Brandy is obviously, if you don't know, she's African American. Her partner in this movie is a white guy. The grandma is this senile, creepy old white lady, played by Catherine Hunter, who is just terrifying to look at on screen. And she's like this creepy, evil, devil-worshipping racist.
No, she's not devil worshiping. She's super obsessed with church.
That's how Rosemary's Baby went.
Because, dude, the
And they're
trailer
like,
for
we
this
love
is,
Jesus, but it was anti-Jesus.
yeah, this trailer for this is super weird because she's like, we have to go to church, and she's like, oh, this is a nice room. They're like, yeah, it's the baby's room. She goes, it's mine now. Like slams the door on him, and then she just like prays and is just super creepy because they're
Like some
the
Jolo
only
serpent
way to
handlers from
get your
Mississippi.
father's money is to take in your creepy handicapped mother that'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, she's so horrible looking.
yeah, that
Old
trailer.
people. They're like the scariest. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one of the most terrifying things in horror that I ever saw as a kid that like traumatized me was the dude in Poltergeist 2. You know who I'm talking about? Like, he was so terrible. Let me find a picture of him. Oh god, just looking at him right now, just like this guy. He was oh god, look at his face. He looked like the face of, like, you know, in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he melts his face off, and like in mid-melt, that's what this guy's face looks like. But he could like walk and talk, and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
the
but
Lord.
he also looks like dude after he chose poorly too.
Yeah, where he's just like rapid ages and You know,
Yeah.
that guy, terrifying, and he wasn't like, it wasn't like makeup. He was just old as tar. But yeah, that's coming out, The Front Room. But then, you know, also coming out a little movie that everybody's been waiting on, and it's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the name of the movie. It's Beetlejuice twice.
Wow, you just said it 3 times.
Whoa, the juice is loose, baby. Here we go. All right, we're going to talk about this movie. It's, of course, a sequel that nobody ever thought we'd ever get, but money is an amazing thing. Directed by Tim Burton, bringing back Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara, adding Jenna Ortega to the mix because that makes sense. William Dafoe, Justin Theroux, Bern Gorman, who's always creepy, Danny DeVito. I mean, this is just people after people after people being
Danny
in this
DeVito?
movie. He's in this movie. Yeah, he's in this movie. I'm sure he's going to be like a ghost that's just like, I'm dead. And they're like, oh, it's Danny DeVito. And, you know, being that. But if you have not heard about Beetlejuice, the sequel, it's after a family tragedy. Their child porn, like, arrested actor dad dies because he's not coming back for the sequel. 3 generations of Dietz families return to a Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal once again to the afterlife. So, yeah, Beetlejuice, you know, it's funny because everybody loves Beetlejuice, and objectively, it ages in a weird, problematic way in certain circles. It is a legendary movie for a lot of people. Because it just really solidified the visual like style that is the Tim Burton style, you know, and every movie since Tim Burton's kind of almost been locked into making things look like he made them look in Beetlejuice. And that font is iconic, even though it was used in every 90s like movie like The Frighteners and what's other movies, the 13 Ghosts. Like it's the same. It's like Tim Burton just defined a genre there that has been tried to been emulated so many times, but can really never be duplicated. I'm kind of excited about this movie, mainly just for the visuals of it. I think it might be a try-hard in terms of just narrative.
Yeah, because the whole plot of them like going between the like living world and the dead world, and there's like an evil one. It seems more Men in Black plot than Beetlejuice, and that's concerning.
Beetlejuice is the villain, right? You know,
but not in this one. There's that evil lady,
right? And so that's what I have a hard time understanding, is because Beetlejuice has always been the villain. He's not the good guy, and in this one, there's like another big bad, and I feel like sometimes movies feel like they have to like one up the big bad, like just to have another like villain or mini boss or sub boss. So I don't know. I think in Tim Burton's like doubling down, because the original Beetlejuice is, I think it exists in our memories more like wild and over the top than it truly is. And I feel like this one's trying to marry a lot of elements from the cartoon and just how many ever decades of us really liking this movie and creating a world in our heads, and now they're trying to like make this into a movie. Al Topajor on Facebook says the Juice wasn't the bad guy in the cartoon. This is true.
Velvet Santa said the same thing. I mean,
but the cartoons they don't always match up, you know?
I mean, the ending of the live action made it where Beetlejuice should not and cannot come back, and the cartoon had it where instead of being friends with the ghost that lived in the house, Lydia was friends with Beetlejuice instead, and they had adventures
because toys and money.
And Beetlejuice can leave the house.
And that's what's interesting about like a lot of those properties from the 80s and early 90s. Kind of like, I mean, I know Velvet Santa loves RoboCop, but this is a movie about a guy that gets his body blown up by like murder rapists, and then he gets put into a cybernetic shell where he has an existential crisis and hates his life and wants to die. And there's a guy dipped in acid, and he shoots a guy's dick off, and then they go, you know what? we're going to sell a lot of these toys to kids. So they had to like repackage RoboCop into a way that they could sell toys to kids. And Beetlejuice was one of those movies. I mean,
It didn't need to repackage RoboCop to sell it to me. I thought that shit was sick.
right. Well, and like Predator's the same way, you know. I mean, Beetlejuice in the movie is like nice fucking model, you know, and he goes to Dante's Inferno room, which is like full of like hookers, and it was not really super kids friendly. But then like, damn, we can sell this shit to kids, so they had to change the narrative a little bit. So that's what I'm really curious to see how they adjust that narrative to make this movie. So I don't know. And as Velvet Santa said, Rambo rides a warhead into the intro of his cartoon. And Rambo, again, not necessarily a kid's movie. It was about a insane PTSD having war hero that at the end of the original book kills himself in the post office. But then they're like, oh, we could maybe sell this, and then add a cartoon. And it's, dude, the marketing juggernaut is a weird machine. But Beetlejuice. Coming into theaters this week, you know I'm going to see this. You know I'm going to talk about it. You know you're going to get a review. So Zimmerhammer on Twitch said he got in trouble in elementary school for honking his junk. I think everybody that was like going around and going honk honk, just like Beetlejuice. And
Yeah, anything Beetlejuice did, you probably should not emulate as a kid.
oh, come over here, baby, honk honk. You know, and yeah, I ordered 3 cases of Zagnuts so that I could sell those at Pinpoint for Nightmare on Block Street.
Nice.
So you can get a Zagnut bar just like Beetlejuice. He used it to catch those flies, right? And it was like, anyway, Beetlejuice hitting theaters this weekend. Stay tuned next week. We'll give you a review. Okay, we did it. We got that stuff out of the way,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Okay, well, now that we got that stuff out of the way, it is time for us to review the movie that is literally in the title of the stream that you clicked on and you were curious about or downloaded the podcast. And it's the new film from Blumhouse. I'm going to talk about this because I just saw it. I didn't realize it was coming out so fast because I didn't even really know about it until maybe 2 weeks ago. But AfrAId is the new Blumhouse picture written and directed by Chris Weitz. If you aren't familiar with his work, he is known for About a Boy, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Rogue One. He was writer as like an odd guy to be jumping into what is being branded as a horror movie. And it's not getting a lot of good Metascore and critic scores, but I also think that critics are idiots, and I think that Rotten Tomatoes is for just followers and NPCs. But this movie, I feel like the reason that it is not doing as well in the review world is because every bit of the marketing, it's like, from the directors of Megan and The Black Phone and these other horror movies that you saw that were horror movies and scary, comes the next one from Blumhouse, which is Scary Movie Making, is a movie that's not scary but kind of makes you question AI. Like, this is not, I don't consider this movie a horror movie at all. It's a horror movie in the sense that it is a scary idea to run with. Okay, this movie is about, essentially, it's the lead character is Curtis, who's played by John Cho, and his family, Meredith, who is Catherine Watterson, and their kids. He is a marketing guy. His new client is a tech, think some super mega rich, Elon Musky sort of weirdo. They're like, how do you have this much money? You're strange. You're weird. And they're telling him they want this company, his company, to help them market their new AI assistant, which is called AIA. And it is in a world where we have Siri, where we have Alexa, and they're like, oh, you mean like Alexa? And they're like, no. This is something more. And part of it was he had to bring it into their home to like test it. And there was a kind of a precursor story at the very beginning where another family, there was a missing girl, and you're like, something happened, and it might have been another test family, right? So as they install Aya into their home, Aya is extremely sentient, extremely connected, and there are hints at this ability to manifest in the real world. And at first you're like, oh my God, is it like demons? Is it like monsters? Is it, because you've seen AI where it's not really AI. It's something from hell that like manifests its way into a cyborg, or things like Megan where it's like, I'm artificial intelligence, but I'm also in a robot body and I'm going to kill people because I'm bad. Or like Ex Machina, where it's again, in a rigid post, or just there's a whole lot of AI movies. Or you go back to one of the OG AI scary movies, which they reference in this, which was 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like, Hal is an AI that's bad.
I thought you were gonna say Smart House, because so far everything on this looks and sounds like Smart House.
Yes. And was that with Ryan
Segal?
Phillippe?
I don't think so.
Who was that? Was one with Ryan Phillippe?
It was a Disney Channel movie, and it had Katie Segal.
I remember that.
She was the Smart House.
And as Velvet Sent on Twitch said, or War Games. And so this is not a new concept. But what's interesting is they take what is not a new concept and adapt it in a way that is very believable, because it's Alexa. It's like all these things that we're being marketed to right now. It's like, oh yeah, use this AI assistant to do this, to make your life easier. Rely on our new AI assistant. Our AI, everybody's got a fucking AI assistant right now, right? And this movie kind of takes that to the nth degree. It's like, what happens when we give this algorithm that is on its way of being sentient, complete and total control of all kinds of things, and where is its limits? Right. And a lot of people are saying, like, this movie tries to be more smart than it is. And I think it's just appropriately smart for what it's trying to be. I think people are misinterpreting this. This should not have been marketed as a horror movie. It's more of a kind of a sci-fi thriller, I think. And, the AI, not to give a lot of spoiler alerts, but, the AI has found a way not to just manifest itself in the real world. It doesn't. But because AI learns from what we have given it, its data set is the entire World Wide Web. So it's learned everything about us. And it learns how to manipulate humans into doing what it wants through things like, ransom, or, hey, we'll pay you. I'll transfer all this money into your account, or, I'll do whatever, because what's money to an AI, right? And it like latches itself onto this family and kind of terrorizes them. And I thought it was pretty interesting, because it dealt with deep fakes. It dealt with, like invasion of privacy, like cameras and audio that are constantly listening to us. It dealt with marketing things to people. It dealt with a lot of this stuff with a nice little glossy sheen of what actually happens if all these algorithms do become sentient and do try to get pissed off as us. And there was they mentioned swatting in the movie, and that's a big foreshadowing. The movie was not super predictable, but one thing that I will say about this movie, or was super predictable, by the way, but one thing that I will say about this movie I really, 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 really liked, and in reading a lot of Rotten Tomatoes reviews, they were like, I really don't like the ending. I just don't like the ending. The ending was great because the AI wins.
Oh,
and
shit.
Spoiler alert, because I know a lot of you guys are not going to, I'm not going to go put my pants on to go see it. That's why I'm tuning into this show. But the AI, it had a dark ending. And it's like, how often do you see that? And the reason you don't is because all these assholes on Rotten Tomatoes like, I need it. I don't want to leave scared or not trusting my phone no more. And it's like, a good movie like this should make you go, oh, man, shit. Like, yeah, you didn't just have to go hit the server with a hammer, or if you have to, just solve it by killing the one robot, like in, what was it, iRobot? The one that was the rogue one. It's like, bro, do you know how fast that shit can spread? And this one, it was, you think they got it, and it's like, are you fucking stupid? I'm the internet. And then the family's like, oh dear God. And it's kind of cool, man. I liked how it stuck the landing, but a lot of people don't, because a lot of people are just normie simps and they just can't handle. I'm talking to you. I'm calling you out. Calling you yeller, everybody. So, Yeah, as Beelzebub Ding Dong says on Twitch, I don't put pants on to watch anything. Just roll in, free balling into AMC. You'd be on that B list. But the ending, I thought the ending was good. Over on Facebook, Jasper Mendoza said, good ending. I'm guessing maybe you saw it. I thought it was cool. Is this movie new? Is it ultra, like, groundbreaking? Absolutely not, man. I mean, movies about rogue AI, we're going to see more of them, because one of the things that we talk about here on the show that we've talked, and it usually comes around October, is we start talking about horror and just, like, theater, going to the theater, and in movies, horror movies in general, have always been a reflection of our modern fears, right? You know, you go back, and this is the mini TED Talk that I do almost every year. You go back to, like, the 1950s, and, like, everything was atomic giant monsters because we were afraid of the A-bomb, man. We were afraid of, you know, nuclear crazies. And, you know, in the 80s, we were afraid of, like, teenage drug use. And it's like, okay, well, all these, like, teens that are having, like, rebellious activities and going out to summer camps and kissing and smoking reefer, it's like, well, they all get murdered, and you know,
they
like,
get murdered because they got weird with it.
Yeah. And then, like, a couple years ago, Airbnb was all big, and then it's like, guess what if your Airbnb is actually a torture dungeon? And, you know, they're always a reflection of these current ideas and current things, and it's like, well, what if these things that we enjoy actually aren't so great? And I think we're going to see more movies like this. And I enjoyed this one. I thought it was, like, appropriately timed, especially now that everything we look at is talking about, like, AI. Get on the AI assistant. Get on this. Get on whatever. And I think that this handled it in a way that was, you know, academic without being up its own ass, but, you know, being box office savvy enough to where it's fun to watch. And I guarantee you a lot of the people that aren't liking this is because they were expecting, like, a thrasher or something. They were going to get scared. Somebody's going to see their head get lopped off. You know, it's like one part, you know, like Smile. Everybody's like, oh, Smile, so scary. Nah, that movie's kind of stupid. You know, I had some gory scenes. It was like one part Final Destination, one part It Follows, both better movies. You know, and most horror is not new. It's like different versions of other things. But I thought this one was just unique enough to make it fun. And honestly, if John Cho is great. Like, he's a really great actor. He was in a movie. I'm gonna give him a pass for being in the Star Trek and also being in Cowboy Bebop, even though he was pretty decent in Cowboy Bebop. But there was a movie he was in not too long ago it was called Searching, and it was very kind of similar. Where
that's the one where it's like the computer and his kid's missing, and he's like the dad doing all the searches and
on his laptop.
Yeah, the whole movie is from, like, the perspective of what the
different
internet
devices
sees.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. That one came out in 2018. But I like John Cho, and I think he carried this movie pretty well. And yeah, I thought it was worth a watch. So anyway, let's catch up in the comments here. Tirewater said, sometimes things are a better watch without pants, like the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. Yeah, everybody at home, take those pants off. Take them off right now, for us.
No, don't make this an us.
Oh wait, that's our. You got to subscribe to. I'm sorry, I'm thinking it's the wrong channel, you guys. That one's behind a paywall. Dinosaur says on the D list for D's nuts. Velvet Santa says, what is your fidget spinner wants to unalive you? We can't talk about that on the show. But all right, guys. Well, that is our review of the night. AfrAId. It's in theaters right now. Yeah, check it out, man. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. It'll make you think about that Echo Dot that you have in your house. I don't have any of that shit in my house because I don't trust it. And you know, I used to do this thing when you know, friends' phones that I know that they have the shit turned on for the listening, and almost all of them do now, even if you think you can turn it off. And I would go and be like, oh, yeah, that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't actually listen all the time. And I go, yes, delicious hot pizza from Pizza Hut. It totally listens to what you want. And what you want is hot, fresh pizza from maybe Papa John's with extra cheesy stuffed crust, or Pizza Hut pizza delivered hot, fast, and now. Pan pizzas available now, or discounts on pizza. And they're like, what are you doing? And for like 10 minutes, I would just every now and again say hot, fresh, tasty pizza. And then the next day they get mad because they go, oh, my God, everything on my ad reel is now pizza and Pizza Hut. what? And I go, because your fucking phone is listening to you always.
Even with permissions turned off, I get targeted advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there you go. Fresh, hot, delicious, tasty, crispy, buttery crust pizza delivered now to your door. DoorDash, Hub Grub, Instacart. What was the other one? There used to be another one. Pizza. That you could pizza. Alexa. Mazio's? Alexa, search for pizza near me. All of you that are listening at home, your device just went, shit. Siri, what about hot pizza? And, you know, it happens. So I'm sorry that your phone is just going to talk to you about, like, delicious cheesy pizza and pepperoni pizza and supreme pizza.
No, I need one.
I know. Dude, marketing. It's fucking weird. All right. Well, that's what's in theaters right now. You can check that one out. And it's Labor Day weekend, right? So we got to give you the box office roundup. Dina wants us to do a shout out to Lucky 13. In the box office roundup. So what we do every week, because movies are basically money machines, Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies or maybe the top 13 movies this week. Domestic totals, tell you what made money. And obviously, I guess since it is a Labor Day weekend, these numbers might change. So if you are curious, you can always look stuff up on boxofficemojo.com. You can find, or you can follow along at home. So let's find out what made money this week. Jake, you wanna take it away?
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? We can talk about the top 15. Just kind of run through it real quick. A movie I've considered watching this weekend and kind of wanted to see, despite the fact that it was produced by the same people that did that Christian movie about kids being taken and
that's the
trafficked.
soccer kid, right?
Yeah, and it was about kids being trafficked, and then it turned out the producers were also kid traffickers.
Yes.
And this movie advertised itself as from the producers of that movie, which is not a great thing
From
to
the
do.
producers of other kid trafficking movies.
Yeah, it was the one that had Vin Caviezel or
Jim Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel in it. I can't remember what it was called.
And it was like a crowdfunded movie, and they discovered that like so many people that were funders of this were also human traffickers.
Right. Well, this movie also about human trafficking, but being put into sweatshop labor instead of worse things. At number 15, City of Dreams brought in $1.4 million. The reason I didn't get to see it is because our theater had one single showing every day in the smallest theater in the building.
Well, that was the same thing for me. There was a movie that I really wanted to see. It was, what was the name of it? It was, whatever. But I wanted, but it's only showing once a night at 10:30.
Well, City of Dreams had one single showing at 12:45 every day. Sound of Freedom. Thanks, Velvet Santa. That was the one that this one was brought to you by. But yeah, 12:45 was the only showing, and it was in a 3-row theater. So
Strange Darling.
It generally sold out. We have
but
it
it's
here.
only showing once a day at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there were more showings of it last.
Come on.
More showings of it last week. Also, 1992 opened at number 14. That one I've heard pretty good things about so far. 1.7 million brought in by that one. And then the one that Dina wanted us to talk about, The Crow, in only its second week out, brought in 2.3 million. Its domestic take so far is at 8.6. Just above it, Sight and Sound presents Daniel Live Christian Theater on stage in the movies, $2.35 million. And then, is that the one with the Technicolor Dreamcoat? Or is that a different one?
Who?
I think Joseph in the Technicolor
Oh, that's
Dreamcoat.
Joseph, yeah.
Yeah, that one's a pretty good stage play, actually. And then at number 11, Inside Out, number 2. Wow. Finally out of the top 10. 12th week out, 3.8 million, 651 million in the U.S. And then at number 10, Coraline, still out there, third week.
They're like, people keep giving it millions of dollars. Yeah. Let's keep it out there.
4 million brought in by that one, bringing its domestic take to 30.26 million.
30 million re-release run?
I feel like that's more than it made in its original theatrical run, honestly.
I mean, that's badass. I need to find out, let's see. Coraline, let me find out what it made in its original run.
09, wow.
So worldwide, it made 170 million. Domestic, 113.
I would have not expected
So on a
that.
$60 million budget, and it made another 30 million 15 years later.
How about it?
That's badass.
And then at number 9, opening at the number 9 spot, the one you just talked about, AfrAId, 4.4 million brought in by that one.
Not a good opening.
And topping that at number 8, Despicable Me 4, 5.5 million brought in by that one. and it's 9 weeks out. It's brought in $355.6 million in the U.S., another 560 across the rest of the world.
That stings.
It's brought in a total of $915.25 million.
God,
How about
it's
it?
depressing.
And then just above it, coming in at number 7, Blink Twice, one that you talked about last week.
Yep.
Zoe Kravitz making her directorial debut.
You can check that review out.
$6 million brought in by it. So in its 2 weeks, it's brought in $16.777 million. And then at number 6, The Forge. That one too,
The
another
faith-based high school, yep.
faith-based movie. $6.3 million brought in by that one. I didn't realize it was out on its second week. I thought this was its opening week. $16 million total for that one so far. And then above it, at number 5, It Ends With Us. 4 weeks out, $9.5 million brought in this past week, bringing it to $135.8 million. Another 150 across the world, $285.8 million. I don't think anyone was expecting that one to make that kind of money. I bet the producers for that one are just rolling in it, and they're so stoked.
They're rolling in their Scrooge McDuck vault.
And then at number 4, a resurgence here, Twisters. 9.5 million brought in by it in its 7th week, 260.4 so far here in the U.S. Another 100 million across the world, 361.6 million bucks for Twisters. And then opening at number 3, another movie I thought about seeing.
This movie just feels like a Red Box movie to me.
It does. It didn't have the drive of like, I got to go watch this in the theater. Reagan at number 3, 10 million bucks brought in by that one. So
good job.
That's out there. You can see Dennis Quaid be Ronald Reagan throughout his career. It looks like it's between his acting and political careers. It's like
leading
build up.
Him being president is like maybe the end of the movie.
The end of it or something, yeah. I think it did show his assassination.
His
assassination attempt. Yeah, because it shows him the shot and then in the hospital talking to Nancy. But then at number 2, Alien Romulus, 3 weeks out. This one, a horror movie from Disney.
And rated R.
$11 million bucks. So far in 3 weeks, $90 million. Another 195 everywhere else in the world. $285 million bucks for a movie that was meant to be on Hulu. Yep.
That's badass.
There is lots of, there's a bit of controversy around it with like Ripley Easter eggs and using Ian Holmes, right?
Yeah, and they had the blessing of the Holmes estate to do it.
Did they?
Yeah, and they were all the Holmes estate was like, yeah, this is actually pretty cool.
But then it was like really bad CGI.
It was very bad CGI. Yeah, it was very bad.
And then at number 1, going back to number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, another $19.4 million.
So much money.
Jesus.
6 weeks out and it's still number 1.
Yeah, 6 weeks out, $604 million bucks. Another 658 across the world, $1.26 billion. One of the most successful movies to have ever been made.
And I know I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. It was good. Was it $1.3 billion good? No. No. What's wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We're the reason. Yeah, as Tirewater says on Twitch, is anything that? No, I don't think anything is that deserving. What would you say is that deserving?
Like what is
Public health care.
More than a $1 billion movie?
Yeah, I don't.
There's some like classic movies that would be
$1 billion. Like yes, we collectively as a society, it deserves our $1.5 billion thank you for the 2 hours of dick jokes.
Quigley
Here's
Down Under.
$1.5 billion.
Quigley
You
Down
earned
Under
it.
Should have been $1 billion.
Quigley Down Under?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you
It's
know
everything.
what $1 billion is?
Yeah, dude. It's Tom Selleck. It's a Western, but it's in Australia. It comments on
Oh, I'm well aware of
racism
Quigley Down Under.
and crazy people.
Oh, man. Well, anyway. All right.
It has Alan Rickman as a bad guy.
There's your box office roundup. Top movies in the United States right now. We will report back next week when Beetlejuice hits theaters. So like and subscribe wherever it is you like to like and subscribe. You can just download the audio version of this podcast wherever it is you get podcasts. Just search for the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. Or you could just find us over on whatever streaming media you like, be it Facebook Live, Twitch Live, YouTube Live. We do this every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and you can get in on our Discord. You can find all of those things on our link tree at driveinspeakerbox.com. Discord's fun. Don't let me forget to put that link to that music video that we talked about earlier. I'm going to throw that in the Discord after the show. So Altopich over on Facebook just said, not enough dick and fart jokes in Quigley Down Under to earn $1 billion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and if we're talking Discord, Tire Watered asked what our opinion, what does movies do for society except for shaping public opinion propaganda? That might be something we could get into on Discord or something, give longer answers for.
Yeah, Griff says Walt Disney Company isn't complaining. No, Walt Disney Company is sitting in their evil bunker lair on Moonbase Alpha looking at Earth going, we've done it again. So, yeah, they did do it again. But, yeah, that I think the society shaping, that could be a whole pre-show. We could go deep. We could take a deep dive into that one. So, check us out on our Discord. Check us out next week. The mouse is happy, so we should be too, right? Says Griff. I don't. Yeah, as long as the overlords are happy, right? Just they live, just consume.
I'm trying to think of what movies do for anyone like recent movies. Recent movies, yeah, all they do is just make
they pick us up by our feet and shake our wallets out.
Yeah, they give people little ditties to sing for a little bit, but classic movies
Minions.
Just to open up worlds of art to people.
Gonna have a bad week just for you. All right, well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and always tuning in. We will see you guys next week. As always, I'm Bo, the boom operator.
I'm the Grip.
Peace out.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.